Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is a brother Amawam coming to you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. I want to give all the praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rekah HaKadosh. As always, double honors goes to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders who will well teach us this truth week in, week out. I want to give peace, blessings, and salutations unto the Archimate. Let us push in this word in truth and sincerity, and much love to the 1/3 destined for salvation. So, So basically, I want to just do this lesson, through the Spirit, Lord willing, it's edifying. And, you get the point, you get the message, man. So, this is all inspiration from a conversation I had today, somewhat heated, without, spilling the beans, per se, about, what we're really into. When I say we, the prophets, man. We the scriptures say to, wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove, man. So we have to move like serpents. Sometimes we have to move wise. We have to move slick. So we have to contend for the faith, man. Regardless of what happens, we have to still do that. So I'm talking to this Jacob customer at my workplace, man, and we're discussing this book that I want to get. I think it's called Sweet Sanctuary. I'm not quite sure if that's correct, but basically this book is it details the wickedness that these Edomites did to our people in slavery, man, in the captivity, in transatlantic slave trade in Babylon, man, aka America. And this book is very expensive, man. The reason being is because it exposes the truth of Edom, man. Just like the book Who is Esau Edom, man. That's like that book's like probably like £2,000 or whatever right now, man. Right, it's a very expensive book. Why? Because it has the truth in it, man. And these devils do their very best to conceal the truth. Anyway, getting back to the reason why I'm doing this lesson. So as I'm talking to this Jake, man, he's trying to tell me that we shouldn't walk around with these chips on our shoulders. We should rise above this, and we can do better in this world, man. And he doesn't seem to understand. And this guy deems himself, very intelligent, man. But the scripture said the wisdom of this world is foolish unto the Most High, man. So what he thinks is clever. What he thinks when he thinks he's bringing out knowledge, man, it's nothing but folly. He's of this world, man, and we ain't of this world, right? He thinks that he can make it just because he has been reasonably, and I say very reasonably successful in this world, man. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't a millionaire or anything like that, man. Yet he feels as though he's doing something in this world, man, because he's making little money. He's got his Edomite wife and all of that, and that's the reason why he's trying to defend it, right? He says he believes, and I'm going to get into the scriptures, man, but he believes that as a people we can rise above this, not understanding that the Lord has put us in this mix, man, and he's put these devils, these Edomites, these so-called white people over us as punishment, man. Right? So there ain't no amount of coming together. That's been proven already through the history books, man. Tulsa, Rosewood, all these other cities and towns that our people tried to build by ourselves away from these Edomites, man. They have a perpetual hatred, man. All right. That will not be satisfied, not be sated, right? Ever. They need to be destroyed by the Most High, man. They need to be put into captivity and ultimately destroyed, because they will not stop trying to destroy us. And this is from the beginning, man. So all this talk about, rising above it, man. Listen, the scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, man. So it doesn't matter how much you love these Edomites and think that they're going to change their ways. They ain't going to change their ways, man. That's why they're called the wicked. They're not called the wicked sometimes, or the wicked for a certain amount of time, or a wicked until the year 2030. No, they're called the wicked, as simple as, because they will always be that. So let's read this. Let's read This is Genesis 25 and 19. It says, these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of Padanaram, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. So he prayed to the Most High, man. All right, you know, and I believe he went to the seers, man, to so he could deal with them, for them to deal, and pray to the Most High, man, and ask for for his wife to be able to conceive, man. And obviously, he asks for things in the name of the Lord in righteousness, man, and he will deliver that unto you, man. Verse 22 says, and the children struggled together with her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. So they're tussling and squirming around in the womb, man, right? And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. So first and foremost, man, that's not telling you, as some of these theologians like to believe, it's not telling you that Esau was actually hairy. They're saying he came out red like the hairy garments that were worn in those days, man. Right, with the dye on them and all of that stuff. They used dye in those days, man, on the furs and all of that sort of stuff. Right, so he came out red. The point of the matter is he came out red. Forget the hairy part, right? And it says, and they called his name Esau. All right, let's get into that name real quick, man. Let's do this. Right, I'm going to try and do this before my battery runs out. So it says, let's hear it.
Strong's H 6215. Esav.
The Hebrews are Shashua, man. And it means wasted away. It doesn't mean hairy, man. It means wasted away is he. So this is an example of the blue letter going off, man. Right? Because his blood shows forth through his skin. Right? That's when them Edomite babies, when they're birthed, they're all red and screaming, man. Because their blood is pumping, and you can see it through their skin, man. It says, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. It says, this is a future prophecy, man. This is talking about in these last days when it talks about that in the Apocrypha in 2nd Esdras. I can't remember the chapter, but it talks about East. I believe it could be 2nd Esdras 8 or 9, and it talks about Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. So this is the future prophecy, right? And it says, and when her days were and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out. Oh, have I read this already? I think I might have skipped some, slacking. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. They called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And that word plain there means perfect, man. Right? And Esau is cunning, and he's a man of the field, man. That's why these guys love to go into the woods and all of that, camping out and all of that. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they favour that. Right? They favor that. So these are talking about the traits, man. Jake loves to chill, man. That's what it says. And Jacob was a playman dwelling in tents. We like to kick back in the crib, innit? Relax, right? And the boys grew, and Esau was right. I read that second. And Isaac loved Jacob because he did eat of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob, right? So anyway, listen. Let's skip to 27, right? I'm trying to find a point so I don't have to read too much of this because I've got some few scriptures I want to get through. Right. So basically, Genesis 27 talks about how Jacob what's the word I'm looking for? In fact, let's just check something. Supplanter, that's what the word. I couldn't think. So Jacob's a supplanter, man. He basically took Esau's blessings, man, by pretending to be Esau, man. So Isaac was tricked into believing that he was dealing with his son Esau when he was dealing with Jacob, because he's his firstborn, so he was going to get the best of the blessings, man. But ultimately, this was the Lord's plan, all right? So, the stolen blessing. So, it says, Genesis 27:30 says, it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting, and he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, Let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. See, so this is the point where Isaac has realized that, damn, I've just given Esau's blessing to Jacob, man. And once it's done, it's done. It's sealed. That's a sealed deal. There's no taking it back. You said what you said. So it says, and Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. So saying this, that's it. I've blessed him, and there ain't no going back. There's no recanting the blessing, man. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing. So that's when he figured it out. He said, and he said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. So, he was given that name through the Spirit, man, because that's what he was bound to do. So it says, For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, so he's crying, man. Esau's bawling his eyes out, man, because he knows he's fucked. Sorry to say it like that, but that's the truth. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right? So Esau lives by the sword, man. He's proved that. He has proven that, right? Century after century, dominating the earth, colonizing it, putting people in slavery, up until this day, bombing countries, right? Bombing in it, not, bombing countries that have committed no ill towards them, right? And then turning around and want to call these other countries the criminals, man. They have ruled this earth by the sword, in openly and in secret. Verse 41 says, And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob. And that's the point, man. Right? That's the point. He, from that day forward, has had that hatred, right? And wanting to put us to death. That's Esau. These so-called white people are our evil twins, right? Esau's the evil twin brother, man. They are our brothers, man. These Edomites are our brothers, man. And sisters, they came from the same seed line, man. Right? They came from the same seed line, man. But they're not of the promise, man. They are our enemies, man. And they forever will be. So they won't allow us to rise above and what's the word I'm looking for? Flourish. We can't flourish in this earth, man. We tried it, and every time we try it, their hatred comes out through the spirit, and they destroy whatever we try to build, man. All right, and that's the spirit that's been put on them, man. It doesn't matter what you say. These people talking about how the elites are dividing us. Look, you don't need the elites to divide us, man. The lowest level of Edomites want division from us, man. Even the lowest level of Edomites understand the power that they wield as being so-called white people, man. All right. There is no coming together with these people, man. That's against scripture. Ezekiel 35. It says, Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. And here's the point. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Right? Therefore, and that it says let's get into that. Perpetual hatred, man. That means when something's perpetual, it's ongoing, it's constant. There is no ceasing. All right, they don't take a day off from hating us, man. This is a spiritual. I tried to explain to this guy, right? This is not about skin color, all right? And he was like, yeah, it's not about skin color, man. There's people darker than us, all right? There's people that they're darker than us. There's nations of people darker than the Israelites who do not receive the hatred worldwide, but all the other nations as we do. This is a spiritual thing, all right? And even all the other nations, man, they have hatred towards us. And none of these this says the wicked shall do wickedly, but none of the wicked shall understand. They don't even know why, because it's all spiritual, man. They'll deny it till they're blue in the face, but when the shit hits the fan, man, the truth comes out. Their actions are proven. It's like their mindset, their thoughts are proven by their actions. The way they feel is proven by their actions, man. Verse 6 says, therefore as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut it off from him that passeth out, and him that returneth. And Mount Seir represents Esau, Edom, man. That's where they dwelt in the clefts of the rocks, man. Alright, let's go to Obadiah. Obadiah, verse 8, I'll start from it. It says, shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and the understanding out of the mount of Esau? Listen, the scriptures don't talk about anybody, other nation like this. When it comes to their destruction, man, it talks about Esau. Right? And I always talk about Job 9:24 because it's the ultimate scripture for proving who is the wicked on the earth. All you cats out there want to talk about how it's the Saudis or whatever, right? It's Ishmael, man. It's not Ishmael, man. Right? He does not have total power over the earth like these Edomites do. Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he? Right? Covereth the faces of the judges thereof, man, because he's covered up our history. He's hidden our history. He's given us all these other names, these bywords that we go by, that our people love to go by, especially the black. Right? And black means void of light, man. Black means all the negative things, according to the dictionaries, man, and according to their way, their thoughts. Right? Esau's running the show, man. So Esau must be the wicked, and Esau must be the so-called white man, because he's running the earth. And anyone that tries to deny that is got their head in the sand, man, or their head up their ass. Let's just put it like that. Verse 9 says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. And there we go. Verse 10 says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And he's trying to say, oh, well, there's going to be the tables are turning because, people are waking up and, they're waking up, man. But just because people are waking up to what, man? If you ain't waking up to the scriptures, man, waking up to the truth of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, it don't matter, because that's the only thing that's going to change, our existence on this earth, man. All right, as many Jays can wake up to the truth of who Esau, Edom is against, as the enemy, but that ain't going to change nothing. They wield the power, man. So what does that mean? It means that only Yahweh Shai can deal with this, man. He's the only one that can come and wipe these people out of power, man. Take them out of power and plant it and place it in the lap of the children of Israel, man. Because we are meant to rule this earth, man, under Yahweh Shai and King David on down, man. Right? We're all going to be kings, man. So it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. He will be cut off forever, man. He's gonna do his duty in building up our kingdom as slaves, man, in captivity, and he's gonna be dealt with harshly for what he's done to us, and then he's gonna be destroyed, man. These are a few verses just talking about the sacking of Jerusalem, man. So we don't need, but this is as usual. A lot of scriptures are twofold, man. Verse 15 says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, Israel, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. So the drinking is the drinking of the cup of all the curses, man. Right? Everything that we've been through, they're gonna deal with. They're gonna have to deal with that, man. The difference is they're not built like Jake, man. The Lord built us in a way so we could withstand everything that He was gonna throw at us, you know, by way of these heathens, man. We're stronger than everybody else on this earth, mentally, physically, and spiritually. These nations are gonna crumble when it comes time to their turn. They're gonna fold, man. They're not gonna be able to take it like we took it. Verse 17 says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau a stubble, and they shall kindle in them, and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So there's this, another thing that this guy said, he's talking about how Yahushua came peaceably, man. Listen, hold on, where is it now? Let's just cut that right now. I can't believe I can't remember where this was. It's shameful. Sometimes that happens, Isaiah 63:1 says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? This that is glorious in his apparel, travelling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Man, let's talk about Yahushua, man, and that dyed garments, man, right? Let's get into it. Let's just read on first. So, wherefore thou art red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine vat. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. Does that sound like a man? He says he's not going to even meet thee as a man. But does that sound like someone who's coming back peaceably? No, man, he's coming back to slaughter. Alright, that's the bottom line. He's going to slaughter Israelites, he's going to slaughter Edomites, and all the rest of you heathens, man. All you wicked Israelites are going to get taken out as well, man. Verse 4 says, for the day of vengeance, man. Does that sound like someone who's peaceable? Listen, judgment must occur, man. Alright, people must pay for the things that they've done. We've had to pay. We're still paying now until Yahushua comes back, man. So these Edomites have to pay, man. There ain't no silver lining where we're all one day gonna get along. And these fucking slacker, but I'm getting annoyed because these niggas that still believe that these Edomites are gonna turn around and say, yeah, let's get along, let's work together, let's share the riches of the earth. It's never gonna happen, man. Never trust thine enemy. Yeah, never trust thine enemy, man. For I have travelled in the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. That's bloodshed, man. For the day of vengeance is mine. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And the redeemed is Israel, man. That's what he's coming back for. That's what he's coming back for, man. How long have I been going? Well, I try and cut it off soon, man, because I know sometimes when these videos are a bit too long, it's hard for people to really continue to watch them, man. So, Joel 3, where is it? I could read all of this, but let's just get to the point. So Joel 3:18 says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, And the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord Yahweh, and shall water the valley of the Shittim. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness, for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. But Judah shall dwell forever, and Jerusalem from generation to generation. So all this, there's no coming together. Yeah, we're gonna reign alone, man. All right, because that's how it's supposed to be. All right, we're gonna reign alone. There is no sharing this kingdom, man. They haven't shared with us. Right? They haven't shared with us, man. Getting sick of these dumb ass Negroes, man, that think or believe that there's gonna be a change like that, man. You know, the man wants to talk about what this, you know, what he calls Jesus, how he, you know, he calls him Jesus. Obviously, he wants to talk about his traits and his character and what he's gonna do and what he's about. But then when you talk to the scriptures, he don't believe in the scriptures, man. So he wants to use the scriptures to try and argue his case. But when I combat him with the truth of the scriptures, man, all of a sudden they don't believe in the scriptures, man. Fuck these guys, man. Amos 1:11 says, "Thus saith the Lord, for the 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever." So his punishment's coming, man. You're not getting away. They're not sliding out of this, man. They're not slithering away. All right. Anyway, Lord willing, this is edifying, man. I'd like to do more, but half an hour, I want to cut it off here. Maybe I'll do an extra piece on this, man. But yeah, and I'll say shalom to the next one.